that's within me. Bless His holy name. I just got on here to kind of like drop some little nuggets. You all notice I said love yourself. You always hear me talk about loving yourself, pouring into yourself, doing things for yourself, not putting everybody else before you, but you put yourself first. And then as you put yourself first, learn how to put yourself first because a lot of people don't know how to put themselves first. So this is what I'm really stressing on everyone. Put yourself first. Do things for yourself. Like sometimes, like women go to a spa, or men too, get their feet done. Women get their hand nails done. That's a way of loving on yourself. Going getting your hair fixed, men getting their hair cut. That's a way of loving yourself. Different ways of doing things for yourself, like what I did, went on a trip. We'll go on trips. That was about loving myself. That was about spending money on myself. That was about doing for me, because so many years I've done for everybody else. And then I found out, doing for all of them, none of them ever really appreciated anything, you know, um, because you show it, see it in their action. You see it in things, how they, go behind your back, say stuff about you. Um, just then spread it to other family members and stuff. And like when you see your children do it, that's kind of disheartening to see that in your kids. Um, but I know they, got it from somebody else, which is okay. That they got to pay for it, whatever they do. And God know that other people got up in their ears and worked witchcraft on them to manipulate them, which is they got to pay for that. Um, it's sad when people do things and think they're doing something, but y'all, I just don't want to get off the subject. I want you all to take time and love yourself. Take time and spend money on yourself. Take time, just go to the park or go to the ocean front and just sit out there and enjoy what's out there. Find your tree though, y'all. It's kind of hot now, or get in the water. Just be safe getting in the water, okay? We got so much going on with the water and stuff right now. Y'all just be safe. But love yourself. And stop letting other people put you down. You don't never have to accept what they say about you because you better than that. When you hear people talking down on you, that's because they don't love themselves. And that's just the way it is. That's the honest truth. So I'm grateful because by me loving myself, that got me out of a trap. Scamming and scheming. Where people that was close to me was scamming, trying to set me up with court cases, stuff they done did, crime they did, were trying to set me up. But when I began to love myself, start pouring into myself, God turned everything around. Everything that they tried to do. But y'all remember now, first I got a fellowship with God. And when I now mean fellowship, I mean relationship. Anybody can fellowship, but a relationship with God is totally different. Relationship with God means you put God first. You let God direct you. Because see, God directed me right out of a situation where I was my husband was trying to kill me. Poison me and stuff. But God led me out of that situation. God said, don't take anything from them. Because they putting poison in the food and the drink and, stuff like that. So I'm grateful to God because God is the one got me out of it. Then I had my sister spying on me and stuff. I already knew what she was doing. I just let her, just used her like she tried to use me. That's all I did. It is what it is. When I say not in a negative way, but a good way. But at the same time, I was trying to drop hints to her about loving herself. But she didn't hear that because she, the jealousy had consumed her. And the same thing with my husband because, people believe what they want to believe. And that's why I got to a place like, I don't care. I don't care what people believe. But, I just want to encourage people. Get to learn to know people before you take an accusation against a person because of what somebody say. Just because a person live with a person, people wear masks. They pretend like they one thing and at home is a whole nother thing. They go outside the home, act like they single, do all kind of stuff outside the home. Then they want to talk, get in the bed with other people and talk about their husband or wife. That's so distasteful. And I kind of like, it's sad when a woman or man sit up in the bed with somebody else husband or wife and know that's their husband or wife. Then listen to them talk about their husband or wife so they can have some talk about. They people don't even know you, but they act like they know you. Because people don't get to know nobody. Because people, it's to me it's disgusting when another man or woman, you in the bed with some other woman, you trying to put that person in competition with the person that you married to. Or doing fake marriages and all kind of stuff, going behind scheming, all these schemes. That's because people don't love themselves. When people don't love themselves, they do all these things. They're not honest. You have to be, guys, your heart have to be right. You have to be an honest person. You just can't blame people for what you didn't deal with, your childhood issues. Y'all, we all have childhood trauma. But if we don't deal with our childhood trauma, you see that later on they coming up. You'll see that coming up because I saw that with my sister. How that, the scheming, the lying, the seeing, the stuff. I saw that with her when we was coming up. I saw the envy, the jealousy. I saw that. And it was just crazy. But, she grown and she still got these same demons. They done got worse. And that's what people don't realize. If you don't deal with that when you're younger, people don't love their stuff. They do all kind of stuff. They sleep around. They ain't got no morals. They don't care nothing about their body. They don't care nothing about nobody else. They just sleep around. But, that's people with no self-control. You don't want to do that. You're in a relationship. Be faithful to that person, y'all. Don't sleep around. Don't hurt other people's hearts. That person entrusted you with their heart. And you don't want to, you don't want to hurt somebody. Because you don't want to hurt somebody what they're going to be like. Going from you to another person, another person, another person. When you see somebody just going from person to person to person, they don't have no heart. They dead on the inside. Sex doesn't do anything for you. Just a couple of seconds and it's gone. You see what I'm saying? You got to get some real love. When you have real love, you take time with people. You show them how to love. I had my husband. I tried to teach him how to love. But he never would, learn how to love because he was so busy looking out. He got scared. When he really saw true love, it frightened him. And he just started doing everything else instead of this. But I was the person he asked God for. God gave me to him. But he abused that love. He abused it through cheating, lying, being deceitful. But, guys, don't do that. You're in a relationship. Get to know each other. Don't jump in the bed. Get to know each other. Get to know what each other like. She like red rose. Or he like, men from time to time. And people do things. What? You're not supposed to give a man a flower. Let's change that up. Let's do something nice. We can go buy anything we want to buy. But, flowers says a lot. Like I love you. No, red roses say I love you. Yellow to me mean patient. I'm patiently waiting on you. You see what I'm saying? Just do something beautiful. Because it's not, it's not that you got to buy a whole lot of roses. Sometimes buy one stem and just tell it, I just want you to know I love you. Because that might be all you can afford. But listen, this is what I said that, but I don't want to, I'm going to say this like this. I was just using it for example. If you're not ready, you're not financially prepared to date, to go in a relationship, don't go in it. Get yourself prepared for financially. Then you get in your friend. You start off friend. Then you start off your relationship. But get to know each other. Have fun with each other. See, most important thing, see if y'all like the same things. You're not going to like everything, but it's some of the things. Say, for instance, I love to travel. Okay. Then that person said, well, I don't love to travel. I never traveled before. Then what you do, y'all start traveling together. Then they'll realize, not realizing they like traveling too. So it's little things you do to try to get to know each other. May go on a road trip. Like Donald, all he want to do go fishing. Go fishing, go fishing. I got so tired of going fishing. I can't stand fishing right now. Because it was all about him. It never was about our children. It was only about him. Fishing. We did any nice trips when the kids were coming up. I had to plan everything. He never had an idea to do anything. But then, now he's getting with other women and, other people and, doing all this with them. And I'm like, what was that all about? Because all the years I've raised my kids, he was everywhere else, taking care of everybody else. Trying to please other people. So, he's a people pleaser. You can't get a people pleaser. That's a person you don't want to date. Because they're going to be phony. They're going to do all this love bombing and all this other. Love bombing is when they buy you stuff, make you feel good, make you feel good in bed and all this other stuff. And then that mess don't last. Because they already, like they got your relationship, they already got 2 or 3 on the side. Because they're not stable. Because they don't know who they are. You got to know who you are. Before you even get in a relationship. But y'all, like I said, heal that inner child in you. It is so important. When I say heal the inner child, I mean go through things that you've been through in your life that made you angry. Say for instance, I'm going to use mine. What happened to me as a child? As a child, I was raped by a man. We was taught then we supposed to respect the elderly. And guess who raped me? An elderly man named Mr. Nelson. He owned a store on the corner. And he had a room right behind where you get your food or whatever, snacks or whatever. He had a room back there he had a curtain. He would put me on the table and draw the curtain back. Y'all, I can remember that like yesterday. I'm 67 years old. That's over 60-some years ago. I can still remember that. I can remember the room. I remember all that. But it took me, I was 50 years old before I told my mother about it. And my sister, or my mama said, I told my sister, I said, I told mama, about Mr. Nelson, what Mr. Nelson did with me. So my sister said, mama asked me the same thing. I said, well, did he mess with you? She said, yeah. But I said, what did you tell mama? She lied to my mama. I didn't want her to think she was a bad mama. She's not a bad mother. Mothers don't have eyes behind their head. And this is what people don't understand. You can't fault your parents. Now, if your parent did it to you, you can fault them for doing what they knew better. But a child that went to the store to get some cookies, you got raped. But you as a child, you couldn't know how to tell that. You don't know how to tell somebody, a grown person, hey, I got raped at the store. I was a little child. I'm about 3 or 4 years old. This was a nasty old man. I don't know if he got caught, but all of a sudden he left. So I don't know if he got caught. But that's what happened. So, and this is why I'm telling y'all my story. Because my husband used that against me. He did everything he can, verbally abusive. He never hit me. I remember one day, I don't know if he can remember, one day he called himself on a car. He said he accidentally hit me, but I didn't. I can't remember no accident. I just flipped out. I got the gun out the glove compartment. And I said, you ever hit me again, I'm going to blow your head off. I said that. I don't know if he remembered, but I do, just like yesterday. Because number one, I'm not letting no man beat up on me. You ain't going to beat up on me. And you're going to talk stupid, I'm going to help you untalk stupid. Because I don't play that. You see, he like to play games. See, he played games. I don't play games. I'm a person that what I say, I mean what I say. The thing about it is this. The way I am now, this is a part of me he never saw. See, because he thought I needed him. I was clingy. And I'm trying to figure out when was I ever clingy. But see, what he was doing throughout the years, I noticed he was trying to make me jealous with other women. Get in front of me and say something to another one. Who does that in front of their wife? A nasty, disrespectful person. Not a man. A man don't do that. A man respect their wife. Vice versa, female. She respect her husband or her man. You see what I'm saying? But this was stuff I went through with him. And, and then for him to set up, this is what gets me, y'all. A lot of these people he slept with, that he was saying stuff about me, he slept with these people. So they was running around with him saying the same thing he was saying. They don't even know me. But they were saying things because he said it. And what he was saying was a lie because they didn't have no common sense. Okay, if he's saying all this her, why is he still living in the house with her? He had a full-time job. He could have left anytime he wanted to. He was taking his money, taking care of the women, and thought he was hurting me by not giving me my money. I had my own money. I just let him think what he wanted to think. Because, see, that's how ignorant he was. This is how people act when they don't appreciate what you do, like you're entitled to do for them. He wanted to keep me there in bondage, to kill me, claim insurance money, or other things that was I just found out about. When you get still, you spend time with God. He show you things, but you, like God say, well, I gave you the dream. Do you remember the dream I gave you? Do you remember the vision I gave? So I had to get still. Then he started showing me things. Showing me things in my dreams. Showing me, go, I'm going to take you back to the vision. Remember the vision? He was bringing things back to me. Because, see, they was trying to manipulate my mind where I don't, use my gift that God gave me. Hey, how you all doing? I'm glad you all came in. Make sure you like the video. And guys, please subscribe to my channel, and come back and like come back and like my videos and come up and watch some of the videos because I'm trying to, take time and explain things to people, what I've been through. And not just that, but I want to use that to help other people because I know a lot of people been through a lot of things. But I do want to take the time and thank you all for coming out and just, and I pray that you all had a beautiful day today. I did because I was kind of like being quiet, spending time with God. Spending time. I know a lot of things, but I can't, I can't talk about them right now because what's going on right now, what they doing, they monitor my channel. A lot of things I could talk about on here that a lot of people don't know I could talk about, that a lot of people think not true, but it's actually true. So, and a lot of things that's created, like weather wars, things like that. Yeah, that's what I mean. Other stuff too, I could say, but not now. I could say a lot of things later, but I can't right now until, I'm released to say certain things. But yeah, I hope you all, like I said, having a nice day. And I just want to thank y'all from the bottom of my heart for coming in. Y'all please like the video before you go out and come in. Because, every like counts and, every subscribe, people follow me. That helps too. I'm trying to get up to over 1,000 subscribers. Hopefully I can get over 1,000 before this month is out. Because I got a lot of things I'm going to be doing later on. And I want to share it with other people. I don't want to, the things I know coming, I don't want to have these things and not be able to share with other people as well. And that's the major thing. Reason, I'm on here more now is because it was time for me to begin to share my story. And then other things that's going to come up later, but I want to be able to help other people, throughout that. But listen, I'm not going to talk too long, but y'all love yourself. Don't treat people any kind of way, always treat people the way you want to be treated, because that's what my mom told us. She died in 2009. She always told us when we was little coming up, she said, let me tell y'all something. She said, always help people, strange. Things are different now. She said, always help people because she said, you'll have children and your child may be on the side of the road and need help. Because you help somebody else, God is sure he sent somebody to help you. And y'all believe me, that is 100% true. Because I have experienced things and God had opened doors where people would come, help me. And, I want to share this too with y'all. I'll never forget this, because it's like, it was supernatural. So one day, I was just walking around my house. I said, I'm on my son. His name's Chancey. I said, Chancey need a suit. Because then I was going to church. So I said, well, Lord, I said, Chancey need a suit. So I went to the store, right? And the suit, the same size suit he needed, it was on the rack. It wasn't just on the rack. It was sitting out on the rack. Like, soon as I walked in the store, I saw the suit. And the suit was his exact size. So this is what I'm talking about. When God I know him for myself. Not going about what somebody else say because I have a relationship with him. He had that suit there for my son. Just like right now, my husband don't give me no money. My husband haven't gave me no money, maybe about 12 years or longer. But God had provided for me. He was saying I was selling myself, I was saying all kinds of stuff. This is stuff he was doing. Um, but God still provided for me, y'all. So this is why I be saying, like, y'all come in and like my videos, come in and subscribe. This is why I want to build uh my YouTube. I want to build that up because the reason I want to build up because I do have things I want to share with other people. I mean, not just my videos like this I'm doing, but I'm planning on having like giveaways and stuff like that. When I say giveaways, it'll be monetary and other things as well. So when I do that, I want, but I'm trying to wait till I get 1,000 subscribers so I can, or even like for instance, when people, donate on my Cashapp, I mainly use my Cashapp to help other people, like people may need food, may need electric bill, water, whatever paid. That's what I mainly do that for. I don't have to do that for the other thing. But once my other situation get taken care of, then I'm gonna be doing, giving away money because I want to help people. But there's a lot of people out here in need. Be able, like I said, to be able to pay more people electric bills, that needs it. Buy groceries, go in the store and pay for somebody's groceries. That whole grocery bill. Y'all know how much the grocery is. To be able to go in the store and buy, different people groceries. That's what I would love to do. Like somebody older person in the community may need their grass cut. Well, I have the money where I can have their grass cut. Have people that I can call to have grass cut. Or they may need a roofing repair. Be able to call somebody and say, hey, can you get over here and do this roof for me? And I'm paying for it. This is what I'm talking about doing. I'm talking about doing community service. I don't care about all that other stuff. I don't care about these fancy shoes, fancy clothes. I don't care nothing about that. Guys, I can buy me some off of Temu and be happy. Because I'm not trying to buy all that. I can buy stuff from Kohl's, but I wait till it's on sale. I make it go real, real down. Then I have coupons to match that. So this is how I do. I don't waste money like that. Because I always, in my heart, my mind is like, oh, if I buy this, then how am I help anybody else? How am I help people that I know? Or people that call me, or people that message me, different people that I know, like it's about helping people because you could be sometimes somewhere and somebody say, then this one I said, well, Lord, is this the person for me to help? Because see, you have so many people out here scamming, so you have to be careful who you help because people say, oh, you help everybody. No, you don't help everybody. You have to be led who to help because a lot of people out here scamming. I don't have time for that. I'm trying to help the people that really need help. Or you have people holding signs and, they go get in a fancy car and all this stuff. No, we got people out here that really need. Y'all listen, I'll start all over again. But listen, I want to thank you all. Make sure you like my videos, and please subscribe because I want to get up to 1,000, over 1,000 subscribers. But when I get over 1,000 subscribers, then I can really, really do a lot. Well, I'm saying that now, but I just don't want y'all to miss out with what's coming because there's some awesome things going to come. And I am going to be doing some live videos in different areas, different places. So y'all get to, come in on that. But, I do the live, but then I'll still put them on, save them. So you all can see the videos and what I'm doing and how things have shifted in my life, how things have changed in my life. And, it's just me and my son. We don't get no financial help. We don't get food stamps, none of that. It's just me and my son. And, we get Social Security, but that's not for so much money. Outside of that, we don't get, my husband don't give me anything, he rather take care of other people rather than take care of his own family. And, I didn't go to court system or nothing like that. I'm like this here. If he don't want to take care of his kid, do nothing for his kid, he don't even, we've been gone from him since October. He has not messaged him. He has not called him on the phone. But then, this is the same man that's going around saying all the things about me. I could get my son on here to, say, but I said I was going to let him get on here. He's 22. He has autism. So I was going to let him get on here and talk a little bit one day. So I hope I'm going to try to do it in the evening like this time of the day because I get more people coming in so they can hear him talk. Y'all subscribe so when I go live, you and put your notification on. You'll know I'm live because I definitely want my son to. Even if y'all don't catch it, y'all can catch it on the replay. But listen, you all have a nice evening and get some rest, guys. Okay. Good night.